Good afternoon. This is Rich Nelson with Allendale. Covering the wrap-up commodity comments today is Wednesday, April 12th, 2011. Key interest today is the fact we did not get follow-through commodity-wide selling. That certainly was a good sign of relief occurred across the grain and livestock complex. The fact that we did see crude oil bounce a little bit here on some unexpected drawdowns in inventory levels here for the weekly energy report here. So certainly on this end, main point, like I said, no commodity follow-through as far as further selling commodity-wide. We did see kind of mixed action here today, though. Corn up 2 3/4, beans up 6 1/2, and last quote on Chicago wheat down 4 1/2. So kind of a mixed trade overall for grains. And honestly, if you look at the stories here today, kind of a mixed bag. On the bullish end, you do have rain still forecast. So the Midwest are going to see rains here late Thursday through Saturday, again Tuesday through Wednesday, and there's a third shot lined up for the end of next week for the southern Corn Belt. So certainly we do have some rain delays, which will be delaying field work and also early planting here as well. So that's a little supportive for corn. We can also point out, I do see, we don't speak of other firms here very much. I do see the other firm, Informa, they kind of agree with us on old crop ending stocks. Their senior vice president reiterated their call for lower ending stocks for old crop, bringing them down to 575 million bushels. That's very close to Allendale's contention of a 602 million bushel old crop number. So the fact is, even though USDA didn't change numbers last Friday, we have two of the top firms here in the nation saying, you know what, we still think we will see further declines in ending stocks when it's all said and done here. So certainly a little supportive here as well for corn. Export sales estimates tomorrow, 550 to 950,000 tons. That's right in last week's range. Last week was 809,000 tons. Over on the beans, the stories are not really as good here. One thing that really concerns me here is the fact that domestic crush has been extremely poor for several months now. Tomorrow morning, NOPA, the industry group, says will release their estimate of last month's crush. The average guess says 133 million bushels. Well, how is that? Well, you look at that compared to last year. That's actually down 24% from last year. So the biggest use of soybeans, which is actually domestic crushing here, down 24% from last year. That's a big problem here. And to meet USDA, we've got to run about 1% less than last year for the next few months, April through August. Well, can we hit that 1% lower? There's no way we're going to get this year. The fact that the last 3 months have run down 11%, down 16%, and then this new one down 24%. So I'm not sure what USDA is thinking here, but bottom line, we will see a drop in crush numbers in the next few supply demand reports. So that is bearish for soybeans here. Also a little bearish, Paraguay, one of the minor countries in South America, they did up their estimate of soybean production from 7.4 to 8.4 million tons. That was a little bearish for them. It's about a 12% increase over last year. So that's a little bearish overall for the big picture. For tomorrow morning, export sales, 200 to 400,000 tons is the estimate. Last week was 190,000 tons. Over on wheat, the key story for today as far as why we dropped in wheat, simply the fact that we do have some forecasters saying by the end of next week we will see some rains hitting that Kansas through Texas region. So this is not this rain system coming for Thursday through Saturday. This is not the Tuesday through Wednesday. This is actually the end of next week forecast is why we dropped today on the wheat. Might be a little optimistic right now, as we all know these forecasts certainly are not reliable after 5 to 7 days here. Over on the other news here for wheat, we also point out one of the people here in Russia said that they will get some grain exports here by the end of fall. In fact, that was one of the Danish banks, I should point out, made that point. So that's also a little bearish for wheat. Numbers for exports tomorrow, anywhere from 300 to 750,000 tons. Last week was 723. So mostly neutral kind of picture to these export sales estimates. Over on the cattle, up 17 cents today. We did have a little trouble. It didn't rally up very much, though, after really considering what people were saying we should come back very well after yesterday's losses. A mixed bag as far as wholesale beef today. It's also got to point out, even with good export information, this morning we got our monthly export sales report for the month of February for meats here today. Beef exports during February were up 25%. That's a really great number here. What's kind of disappointing is the few cash cattle sales we have seen so far have been a bit lower. Nebraska last week traded 196. Tuesday, some sales, just a few hundred head at 194. Just a few hundred head today at 189. So we're not going to say we're going to have a drastic lower cash cattle trade this week, but the early sales are running a bit lower here for cash cattle. So we'll bearish on this end. And keep in mind, Allendale certainly does not look for any upside at all coming into summer. So keep in mind that point as well. Hogs up $2.10 today. Very good gains here overall. Keep in mind, yesterday's wholesale pork trade was up $1.44. So some people are suggesting, you know what, we all know this rise in prices from mid-April into summer happens in hogs. Maybe that started already. So we're already starting some of that talk here. I was a little impressed here, the fact that we had this very big futures gain in the face of the monthly pork export numbers. We're only up 7% in February compared to last year. I was expecting something maybe in the teens, maybe 15% higher. Keep in mind, January numbers were up 17%. So I'm not impressed at all by the pork export numbers for February. Keep in mind, this is, of course, before the tsunami. Maybe those Japanese sales we made in March will certainly be impressive. We'll have to wait and see on this end. I will point out one thing I'm happy to see. Chicken exports during February were up 12% over last year. That's one of the key sticking points we've mentioned in the commentaries in the past few weeks. Key sticking points to this pork market really rallying is chicken. We need to get rid of this oversupply of chicken here in the U.S. So hopefully we're getting that done here. Maybe by the end of the month, we can take an optimistic viewpoint here. So overall, kind of a mixed bag across the realm of grains and livestock. Like I said, we're happy to see that the commodity-wide selling ended here. Big thing coming up here for us right now is if you guys have your Dish Network and you know where the RFD TV channel is on Dish Network, you'll be able to see Allendale here Saturday morning as well as Sunday. We were able to tape with Max Armstrong and Orion Samuelson here this morning. So certainly take a look at this weekend. Got some neat stuff to talk to you about on that program here. If you have any questions about markets or marketing in general, give us a call here at Allendale, 1-800-262-7538.